Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6.
We have breaking news on the U of I murder suspect tonight. This man, 28-year-old Brian Koberger, is accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in mid-November. And according to his lawyer, he will not fight his extradition back to Idaho to face his charges of 4 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogan. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Bloom. Koberger lived just 8 miles away from where the students were murdered, but he was arrested 2,500 miles away in Pennsylvania. Our Bronte Sorotsky spoke with Moscow police today and has the latest on the arrest and the investigation.
Well, Emily, almost 7 weeks after the murders of these 4 U of I students, police have a suspect in custody. Just today, Koberger's lawyer issued a statement saying he intends to waive the extradition hearing to extradite his transport to Idaho. I spoke with Moscow police today about what this all means and the next steps in this investigation.
Up until this point, certainly the investigation has been led by the drive to find and apprehend a suspect. Well, we've done that now.
Now, Moscow PD say they're looking to learn everything they can about Brian Koberger,
so that we can get a clearer picture of not only who he is, but what led up to these events.
Moscow PD can't say exactly what they are looking for, but say their investigation isn't over.
The person who we believe committed these murders is in custody. However, the investigation does still continue.
What's next in this investigation? Getting Koberger, who was found in Pennsylvania, back to Idaho.
But once we get official word that extradition has been waived, then he will be transported back to Idaho as soon as possible.
On Saturday, Koberger's lawyer said that the WSU grad student intends to waive his extradition hearing and will go back to Idaho.
But once we get official word that extradition has been waived, then he will be transported back to Idaho as soon as possible.
Until he's back, there's no set timeline in the case.
You know, we've got a lot of questions today on when is he going to be extradited? When is his first court appearance? When can we get these documents? When can we get this information? And a lot of that is just absolutely unknown.
Additionally, until his return, information about what led to his arrest is sealed.
And we're ready and wanting to share those, but we just have to wait until we legally can do so.
Despite the arrest, Moscow PD maintained that the investigation is far from over and that they are still looking out for more tips and calls. Now, 4 News Now also spoke with a criminologist at Sacramento State, same path Koberger was studying at WSU. She says that with how big this story has gotten and how many people have become invested in trying to identify a killer themselves, the 4 victims, Maddie, Ethan, Xana, and Kaylee, are now being left out of the story. She also says that with how high profile this has become, it could be harder to find a jury pool that hasn't seen the case in the news or online.
You're seeing so much of the social media, true crime space, and mainstream media really focusing in on this suspect. And that makes sense because the arrest happened very recently. But something that is always a concern is when it gets so big that people that potentially could be jurors are no longer unbiased.
Now, police say that they continue to work hard on this investigation. Their tip line has already received over 400 new calls since yesterday. And they ask that if you have any information regarding the suspect, to share that so they can put together the pieces of what happened and how we got to this point. Live in studio, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Bronte. And like she just said, police still need your help. They stress this investigation is not over. They ask that you spread the name and photo of the suspect arrested and ask anyone who knows him to come forward and contact the tip line by email or by phone. The address and number is on your screen right now, and it can also be found at kxly.com. And there's breaking news from Vatican City tonight. Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI has died at 85 years old. Earlier this week, Pope Francis had asked for prayers for his predecessor as Benedict's health took a turn. And now, millions around the world will mourn a man who championed a conservative and traditionalist view of the faith. Elected in 2005, he transformed the papacy by one of the most radical things any pope has ever done, and that is resigning. Also breaking from Spokane, a man was killed in a shooting in East Central neighborhood around 1:30 this morning. Spokane Police Major Crimes Unit is investigating, and they urge anyone with information about the shooting to call Crime Check at the number on your screen. That is 509-456-2233. And while you celebrate New Year's Eve tonight, you may run into some fog. We have meteorologist Matt Gray in studio with everything you need to know about the last few hours of 2022 and what's ahead.
Yeah, counting down here. Got some folks who are going to be staying up a little later than they usually do, myself included. And as we head through the night, things are going to be cloudy, calm. And yeah, you might run into a little bit of fog out there tonight. In fact, I'll swing back and show you already seeing more fog development around Moses Lake and around the Grand Coulee as well. Also, we'll see some fog development in Wenatchee and around Omak before we get into the new year. Same with around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Right now, it's low clouds. Sorry. We are eventually going to get into that fog space, and I'll show you the cameras again just to prove it to you. By and large, low-hanging clouds that are going to lower through the night. We've also been seeing a couple of snow flurries move around the region. You might see a snowflake or two, but that is going to be the case really for the next few days as this type of weather pattern does continue. So temperatures right now in the mid-30s. We expect to drop into the low 30s as we head towards 9 o'clock. Riverfront Park, we start to see the fireworks there. And as we all ring in the new year at midnight, we'll be right around 32. As we head through the upcoming week, we start out calm, but things will start to pick up again as we get deeper and deeper into the first week of 2023. Your full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Matt. Well, how are you ringing in the new year? Whether it's with friends or family, there are plenty of New Year's Eve events happening tonight in and around Spokane. The New Year's Eve fireworks show in Riverfront Park is free tonight at 9 p.m. And it may not be midnight for us on the West Coast, but it's early enough to accommodate families with younger children. Tonight, law enforcement will be increasing patrols, watching for impaired drivers. Officer Jacqueline Valencia with Spokane Police says drive sober or have a plan to get home safely.
You can call a friend, call a rideshare, taxis. There's so many options out there nowadays to get you home safely.
Officer Valencia also says the cost of a rideshare is nothing compared to the cost of a DUI. In a new campaign video on social media, SPD says so far this year they've responded to 258 collisions in the city involving impaired driving, with 5 of them resulting in deaths. For more information, you can find this story on KXLY.com. And as we welcome the new year here in the Inland Northwest, we want to see how you're celebrating New Year's Eve. Go ahead and send us your photos with your friends and family on KXLY.com. Overseas, as Ukrainians ring in the new year, more attacks. Today, at least one person has been killed and several others injured after Russia launched a barrage of missiles on the capital of Kyiv. The attack shows a massive strike 2 days ago, one of the largest since the war began. These attacks show Russian President Vladimir Putin has no intention of easing up in his efforts to leave Ukrainians without power, heat, and water this winter. ABC's Britt Klena is there.
Windows blown out all over this busy intersection, causing shards of glass and rubble to be scattered all over here. You can see behind me this 6-story luxury hotel has been carved out by the impact. Tonight, Kyiv on heightened alert this New Year's Eve.
In an aggressive New Year's address, Putin says the war is to protect Russia's motherland. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky responded, telling the Russian people the propagandists are lying. But even as the war continues, the people of Ukraine have gathered to celebrate the new year. And you can go ahead and stick around with us. There is still lots more to come on 4 News Now. Southwest Airlines left countless passengers stranded, and now the airline is hoping to get things right.
Definitely wasn't smooth in the air, but at least our air overhead is going to be a lot smoother as we head through the next few days. We are tracking, though, those changes back towards active weather. We'll show you when that happens coming up in your full forecast.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Carpet Barn.
Hi, welcome to Toyotathon.
Thanks. Now that the holidays are over, I'm getting a Camry.
And we're getting getting a RAV4 hybrid.
And I'm getting a Tundra.
Oh, and you're getting a belly rub.
And I'm getting a truck.
Toyota-thon is on. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more. Reserve yours at Toyota.com.
Come in today, but you're already here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school.
What?
But the good news is, it's the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale. Now hurry, and you can get Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month. Plus, when you add Xfinity Mobile, you get the best price for 2 lines of unlimited.
I gotta get this deal.
And for a limited time, get $500 back. I don't want to miss that.
That's amazing, Doc.
Drop everything. Get to the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale.
Doc?
Click, call, or visit a store today.
You see the look on his face? Hilarious.
I know how you feel. Because I was right here.
My biggest fear was on that.
Always waiting for me.
But I knew I was never alone.
And I would get through it. Because people care.
So walk right in.
Get back on.
Step right up. And to everyone who sees anyone bullying, don't just watch. Act.
Together, we can put an end to bullying.
You can learn more at disney.com/choose-kindness.
Looking for some fun? Then come play for the day at the Coeur d'Alene Casino and discover new ways to win big inside the new Discovery Den, the first and only video game testing room in the U.S. with many of the top manufacturers in the world under one roof, where you get to play them first and decide which games stay and which ones don't. You will set the trends for the future of gaming, only at the Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Welcome home.
4 News Now is brought to you by Numerica Credit Union.
Our last forecast for 2022 here in the Weather Center. Right now, temperature's pretty comfortable, pretty normal for this time of the year, which is really saying something considering the year we just had. 35 in Spokane, 34 in Coeur d'Alene. We're down to the teens already in Winthrop. Goodness, 31 in Moses Lake, 41 in Lewiston. Oh boy, I think my brain's ready for 2023. As we go through the evening, if you are just tuning in with us, looks like it's going to be a pretty nice night to catch some fireworks or just ring in the new year in whatever way you choose. Boy, I got to say, hopefully it is not as busy as it was in 2022. Just look at everything that happened in our weather this year. Just some highlights: 2 tornadoes in Spokane. We had more big heat waves, 6 days of 100 degrees. We had that big hailstorm in August. And oh, by the way, we are seeing the coldest temperature with that -10 in Spokane in about 10 years. And in about 12 years, this is the snowiest to this point in the winter season so far. So will that continue into the year? Hey, your guess is as good as mine, but we are off to a super snowy start to this season, and we have been on the cold side of it as well. Well, our lows tonight are trying to break that trend at least a little bit. 29 for Spokane, but in the 30s around Lake Coeur d'Alene. Lake always helps kind of moderate those temperatures. Teens in Winthrop, mid-20s and foggy around places like Moses Lake and Ritzville, and mid-30s in the LC Valley. Take a little zoom out. We do have winds in the higher levels of the atmosphere coming out of the northwest. That could be a pattern that gives us a little bit of light snow showers, so especially in the mountain areas north of I-90, places like around Sandpoint. You get around Medellin Falls, the Colville area, Chewelah, Bonners Ferry. Yeah, you might see a couple of snow showers rumble through here as we head into tonight, into tomorrow, and on into Monday as well. Now, most of the day is just going to be fairly cloudy. Do look for a little bit of fog in the morning. Might have to do a little bit of ice scraping, especially some of those foggier prone places like the West Plains. If you're up and early on the first day of the year, not a whole lot of temperature change, only about 5 degrees. We're going to go up to about 34 in Spokane. We'll get up to around 35 in Coeur d'Alene, so even less of a temperature difference. Likely some fog around the lake as well. We'll be in the mid-30s, really around most of the area, although in the LC Valley, we'll get up into the 40s for the first day of the year. It has been it's pretty average, and considering, like I said, how chilly and how snowy it's been, that is quite a change. Our computer model trying to pop up some of those little flurries up in the mountain areas. This is Monday evening. We'll have a chance for a little bit of clearer skies, and that'll help drop our temperatures into the teens around the region. As we head into Wednesday, well, we start to cloud over again, and this is because our next storm system will be on the way. We'll start to see some snow work into the Cascades on Wednesday night. And by Thursday, we expect a little bit of snow in the region. Now, this does not look like a big snowstorm like we've had over the past couple of months, but a little light snow that will slick things up again for the Thursday morning commute. We'll also see some more shower activity as we head into next weekend. But for now, some calm and cloudy weather.
Not too shabby. Thanks, Matt. Well, take a look at this. Snow melt and rain combined together to flood a major highway in California. In this video from today, cars are trying to drive in high water on Highway 101 in San Francisco. Be aware that driving in highway water like this is dangerous for both you and your car. And there could be a new millionaire in the new year. After no winner on Friday, the Mega Millions jackpot has risen to $785 million, the largest prize ever offered in the final week of any year. The jackpot has grown for 22 drawings since mid-October. The current odds of winning are 1 in 302 million. But hey, someone has to win. The estimated $785 million prize can be paid with annual checks over 29 years or in a lump cash sum for an estimated $395 million. And after a disastrous holiday travel meltdown, Southwest Airlines appears to be back on track. The airline CEO apologizing and promising to reimburse frustrated passengers. And federal authorities are demanding that the airline make things right. According to FlightAware, just 4 Southwest flights were canceled, and while nearly 16,000 cancellations took place over Christmas weekend and the following days. Southwest passengers left stranded over the holidays can submit reimbursement claims with the airline for the costs they suffered, but it won't make up for the lost time with their loved ones.
We're not going to get those memories back. We're not going to get that time spent with family back.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says his department has received thousands of complaints saying it will penalize Southwest Airlines if needed. Southwest says it plans to speed up its effort to modernize the airline systems in hopes of preventing a meltdown like this in the future. And the flu hit harder and faster than usual this season, but now it appears to be on the decline. According to new CDC data, hospital admissions for the flu dropped nationwide for the 3rd week in a row. Almost 19,000 people were hospitalized with the flu last week, down from a season high of more than 26,000 the week after Thanksgiving. And coming up on 4 News Now, one Gonzaga basketball player continues to make history. We hear from the Bulldogs coming up in sports.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Country Homes Power, Spokane's #1 source for quality hot tubs and swim spas, has truckloads arriving from the top American-made spa manufacturers just in time for spring. Now is the time to reserve your new hot tub or swim spa. Get to Country Homes Power today.
People are stressed about money, and having a financial plan is the first step to kind of lifting that weight off your shoulders. Financial education is my way of giving back to the community by being able to help members in branch and getting the opportunity to go out into schools and teach kids about how to put themselves in a better position financially. There are many different ways that New America gives back to the community. Financial education is one of them.
We're making something so simple and so fun.
Eggplant parm in a bowl?
Parmigiano Reggiano topping.
That's how Rach rolls.
Look how good that looks. I mean, come on.
Next, Rachel.
Watch Rachel Tuesday at 3 and 4 News Now at 5.
Name?
Special Agent Will Trent. I rescued a dog. I'm just dropping her off.
Just dropping her?
Like a sack of old clothes.
What are you doing here? Murdered teenage girl.
I just need you to read the crime scene. I told him I'd bring my best.
Yes, ma'am.
Something happening here.
Something's not right.
But what it is ain't exactly clear.
Somebody was carried out of the house without an Amber Alert. There's a kidnapping.
Always with the three-piece suit, like every day's your wedding day.
On my funeral.
Why Will Trent, of all people?
He's good police, and he's objectively hot.
Plus, I have a good memory.
You may be in more trouble than you think.
Put down the gun. Get in there! I gotta find this kid.
Mark, it is a weather alert day. It's important.
Weather Alert Days on 4 News Now.
Mountain passes in our metro area is going to make driving treacherous. We want you to take time today.
The First Alert Weather Team pinpoints the most impactful and dangerous days.
Lit up with warnings and alerts.
On air and online.
Temperatures in the double digits below zero.
Weather Alert Days. Another way we're keeping you safe on 4 News Now. That's what we mean when we say, expect more.
If there was ever a safe bet in college basketball, it's Gonzaga winning its first conference game. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minenso. The Bulldogs have won 26 straight West Coast Conference openers heading into today, including every single one under head coach Mark Few. The Bulldogs hosted Pepperdine to open WCC play this afternoon. And Pepperdine, they hung with Gonzaga early on. Maxwell Lewis is a projected NBA draft pick. Lewis knocks down the jumper there as Pepperdine takes the early lead, but this was the Drew Timme show. Timme shows off the skill with the left hand. Timme finished with 35 points. Here's Timme again. This time he finds his buddy Julian Strother, who dials it up from three-point range. Strother added 22 points in this one for the Bulldogs. Second half, Timme time was in full effect. Timme going deep into his bag of tricks, the up and under move, the bucket and the foul, and then Strother puts the icing on the cake. The turnover and the slam. Gonzaga runs away with it, 111-88. Timme's 35 points is just too shy of his career high. Timme also surpassed Elias Harris for fourth on Gonzaga's all-time scoring list.
Just got that extra gear now, I would say. We're like, I know, like, in order for us to win and be the best that we can be, I have to do certain things night in and night out, and that happens to be one of them. So just continuing to build on that and trying to just keep staying locked in every time is definitely something I've been working on.
Gonzaga women's basketball also had quite the offensive performance in its conference matchup against Loyola Marymount. Peyton Muma, check this out, buries it with the shot clock winding down. Gonzaga scored 35 points in the first quarter, and it didn't stop. Brenna Maxwell. From long range, Gonzaga hit 14 three-pointers in this game. Bulldogs cruised 96-51. Yvonne Ejim added 24 points in the win for Gonzaga. The Bulldogs return home to take on San Francisco on Thursday. 4 teams left, but only one can remain. The college football playoff kicked off this afternoon, and this year's playoff is arguably the most unique since its inception. It's the first playoff without either Alabama or Clemson. And you look at the teams remaining, Georgia is the defending champ. Ohio State slipped in at the last minute. TCU went from unranked to unbelievable, and Michigan was looking to return to glory. And we start in the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona, the first semifinal between Michigan and TCU. And this was arguably the craziest playoff we've ever had. First quarter, Michigan's J.J. McCarthy intercepted by Bud Clark. TCU strikes first on the pick six. Now, the Horned Frogs led 21-6 at halftime, and this one seemed like it was over, but here comes Michigan. Roman Wilson gets flipped into the end zone. The Wolverines would convert on the 2-point attempt. It's a 3-point game. Now, teams combined for 44 points in the third quarter. That made it the highest scoring quarter in college football playoff history. The Wolverines had one last chance to win this thing, but McCarthy mishandles the bad snap. TCU forces the turnover on downs, and the Horned Frogs march on to the championship game. 51-45 is the final. The 96 combined points makes it the second highest scoring college football playoff game ever, only behind the 2018 Rose Bowl when Georgia and Oklahoma combined for 102 points. And TCU will play the winner of Georgia and Ohio State. Ohio State leads 21-7 right now in the second quarter. And the College Football National Championship game is at 4:30 on January 9th from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Shriners Children's Spokane, the most amazing care anywhere.
Turn your low energy
into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get energized with tons of equipment. Simply join through the free PF app. Deal ends January 12th.
The New Year's sale starts now at More Furniture for Less.
Shop all our hottest styles at the best value to help bring in the new year.
Prep your home to take on all the opportunities of 2023.
By creating a relaxing living room, a warm, inviting dining room, or a bedroom sanctuary, all on sale.
Be the first to shop the New Year's sale early this Sunday with special hours from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Preview all sale specials online at morefurniture.com.
4 News Now's Mark Peterson.
Talking about gusty winds.
For 40 years, he has served our community. Journalist, weatherman.
Yeah, it's just hot.
Founder of the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
To our first edition of Extreme Team, and there is your new Kinderhaven.
2, 3.
You guys rock. We are so appreciative.
To the 127 kids that are currently in the hospital, we hope you feel better. We hope this helps.
We've done it, and did we do good?
Now that service has been recognized by the Silver Circle, a special Emmy Award for broadcasting's best and brightest.
We're rebuilding your fields.
One of Mark's mentors told him the goal of being a good broadcaster is to leave your community better than you found it. Congratulations, Mark. You did it.
Everybody down! Big robbery!
Starting January 3rd, The Rookie moves to Tuesdays, and they're teaming up with the feds for an action-packed crossover event.
What happened? A heist crew got away with a list of our undercover agents currently in the field.
This suspect should be considered extremely dangerous.
Into chaos we all go.
Lives of hundreds of undercover agents are depending on us.
The Rookie crossover event starts Tuesday, 8, 7 Central on ABC.
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get energized with tons of equipment. Simply join through the free PF app. Deal ends January 12th.
Closing out 2022, looking forward to 2023 and some calm conditions for once in the forecast. We'll keep an eye on that snow on Thursday. Keep you updated on KXLY.com as we head through the rest of the weekend.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, take a look at this. This is a live look into New York City. Celebrations in Times Square have already started. Everyone's anxiously waiting for the ball to drop and to ring in the new year. What do you guys say? Is that one on your bucket list, or is that just too much chaos?
Yeah, not going to do that with the crowd. Do you guys have New Year's resolutions this year?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm still writing mine.
I'm still figuring mine out. I do like resolutions, but need to figure one out still.
Yeah,
you, Julie?
A little bit of time. Eat healthier. I think that's always a good one.
All right. Happy New Year.
Download the 4 News Now app today. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.